Beer may have helped build civilization, not because ancient people were drunk all day, because before money, kings, or written laws could unite strangers, a feast could. And here's the strange part. Our link with alcohol began long before beer. Your body carries a clue from about 10 million years ago. People may have brewed grain before full farming began, and some of the oldest stone monuments on Earth may have risen beside huge feasts. So what came first, bread or beer? To find out, we have to begin with a piece of rotten fruit. Picture a warm forest in Africa. A piece of fruit falls. Its skin splits. Wild yeast reaches the sugar inside. Slowly, the fruit begins to ferment. Now, it contains a small amount of alcohol. To an ape searching for food, that smell may have been useful. It meant one thing: calories are nearby. Millions of years later, scientists found a clue hidden inside our bodies. One tiny tool in our ancestors' digestive system changed. That tool is called an enzyme. Its job was to help break down alcohol. After the change, it became much better at doing that job. This does not mean ancient apes were trying to get drunk. It means fermented fruit may have become common enough that handling alcohol helped them survive. Long before humans learned to make alcohol, evolution may already have prepared us to process it. But eating fermented fruit is not brewing. For that, we have to jump forward almost 10 million years. About 13,000 years ago, hunter-gatherers buried their dead inside a cave in what is now Israel. Today, we call it Raqefet Cave. Inside, archaeologists found deep stone bowls cut into the rock. At first, they looked like normal food tools. Then, scientists studied the tiny remains trapped inside them. They found signs of wild grain that had been soaked, sprouted, crushed, and likely fermented. In simple words, these people may have been making a beer-like drink. It would not have looked like modern beer. It was probably thick, cloudy, more like drinkable grain porridge. But the strange part is not what it looked like, it is where they made it, beside their dead. Maybe the drink was part of a funeral feast. Families may have gathered to eat, mourn, remember, and share stories. So one of the oldest strong signs of brewing was not found in a bar. It was found in a burial cave. Before alcohol became a business, it may have been a way to bring people together. But the cave leaves us with a bigger question. Why spend rare grain on a drink when you don't even farm it? The usual story goes like this. First, humans began farming. Then they built villages. Then they had extra grain. And only after that did they discover beer. Raqefet suggests the order may not be so simple. People may have brewed grain before full farming began. Maybe grain was useful not only because it could feed one family, maybe it could gather many families. About 1,500 years later, that question appeared again. This time it was carved in stone. At Göbekli Tepe, in what is now Turkey, people raised giant stone pillars. Some weighed many tons. They carved them with snakes, birds, boars, and other animals. There were no trucks, no cranes, no coins, no written commands. Yet large groups cut the stone, moved it, shaped it, and stood it upright. Why? Why would so many people do so much work? Then archaeologists found a clue. Huge piles of animal bones and large stone containers. Some could hold more than 100 liters, enough for a crowd. Tests suggest grain was processed there. Some researchers think fermented drinks may also have been made. We cannot prove that beer flowed at Göbekli Tepe, and the site was not only a temple, people also lived nearby. But we do know large groups gathered there. They worked, they ate, they performed rituals, and they may have drunk together. Beer did not lift the stones, but a feast may have brought together the people who did. Think about what a feast can do. It feeds workers, it rewards them, it builds trust, and it gives people a reason to return. Once a gathering becomes important, people need a steady supply of food and drink. That leads to a bold idea. Maybe some early humans grew grain not only for bread, maybe they also wanted beer. This is called the beer before bread idea. It is not proven. Farming began for many reasons. The climate changed, groups grew larger, people needed food they could store. But beer may have added one more reason. People were not only preparing for the next winter, they may also have been preparing for the next feast. Then humans stopped only making alcohol. They began designing it. Around 9,000 years ago, people at Jiahu in China stored a drink made from rice, honey, and fruit inside pottery jars. This was not one ingredient left to spoil. It was a planned blend. People were choosing what went into the drink. They were changing its taste. Alcohol had gone from something humans found to something they made to something they designed. And in ancient Egypt, it got a job. Imagine spending the day carrying stone under the Egyptian sun. Your ration includes bread and a jar of thick beer. This was not much like a modern party drink. It was filling. It gave workers calories and energy. It was closer to a liquid meal. But beer did more than feed workers. It appeared in gifts to the gods. It was placed in tombs. Healers mixed herbs into it and used it to carry medicine. That does not mean every cure worked. It means beer had entered almost every part of life. The same drink could support a worker, feed a family, honor the dead, serve the gods, and carry medicine. Beer was no longer just something people drink. It helped daily life run. So, did alcohol build civilization? No. People built civilization. Alcohol did not invent farming. It did not raise stone pillars, and it was never harmless. But it may have helped people do something every civilization needs: cooperate with strangers. A shared drink can become a feast. A feast can become a ritual. A ritual can become a tradition, and a tradition can turn strangers into a community. That community can hunt together, farm together, build together, and remember together. Our story with alcohol may have begun with fruit rotting on a forest floor. Then someone learned to make it on purpose. Then someone made enough to share. That final step may have mattered most, because the drink did not lift the stones. The people gathered around it did.